Hello there friends and welcome. For today's Pathfinder guide, we have everything about the WERETOUCHED archetype, the shifter subclass that's all about changing into the classic were forms like werewolf, the WERETIGER as well, and even the WERERAT for some nice rogue abilities. It's a blast to play, not just because of the fact shifter is already one of the best classes, but with the WERETOUCHED, you'll have extreme versatility, with amazing offenses and even extreme defenses as well. For example, WERETIGER is all about extra defenses, with even higher than 140 AC potential, while the werewolf has amazing crowd control on every hit, for easily knocking enemies down, the same for WERERAT but for disarming, and even free sneak attack plus rogue talents. And we'll be going with the demon mythic path, although I still prefer TRICKSTER, as just one hit will mean around 20 attacks being applied right at once on top of the enemy, for a very easy time completely destroying anything. And through this guide I'll provide you with both ways of building a very potent WERETOUCHED. One focused into strength for more damage and offensive potential, and the other into dexterity for tanking. So without further ado, let us get into our WERETOUCHED guide, first with the core mechanics of the class. The main appeal of the WERETOUCHED shifter is of course the ability to turn into multiple were animal forms. And they each excel at something, but there's two that stand out. First is the WERETIGER, the best for tanking and extra defenses, as you'll get stacking damage reduction that's only penetrable by silver. Enemies in this game don't really have silver weapons, especially demons, starting at 5 at level 4, then 10 at 8, and even 15 at level 15. Most importantly, you also get a stacking bonus to AC equal to half your shifter level, so a maximum of plus 10 at level 20. And the combat expertise feat for free, which also increases your defenses, scaling based on your base attack bonus, and shifters all have high BAB progression. You'll even get the highly powerful Palms feature for free starting from level 8, which of course means full attacking and charging even without a SKALD party member. As far as attacks, all the shifter forms are the same. You have 1 bite and 2 claws. And as far as attacks, all of the shifter were forms are the same. 1 bite and 2 claw attacks. The best offensive option is the classic werewolf, the most famous of all the Wereshifter forms. You do have minor damage reduction 3 instead of the 5 from WERETIGER. You'll have bleed on your claw attacks, which isn't really that good for most of the game. But most importantly, one of the strongest features possible, trip, so knockdown for free on your bite attacks as a free action, which of course are unlimited. So the more bites you have, the more trip attempts you're making per round. And shifters can increase the amount of natural attacks they have through the Shifter's Fury class feature. Well, I've said this many times, but trip is really that good. There's a reason the automatic tripping pets like the dog and the wolf are so powerful, and it is because they have free trip on their bites. Now you'll have the same as a werewolf, although the normal shifter's wolf form also has this. This is only starting from level 8, but at level 15 plus, you'll also have greater trip as a bonus feat, which is great because whenever you trip the enemy, you'll have a free attack, so it has amazing synergy with your free trip on bites. And of course, with the Calavaco's demonic aspect, you just destroy the entire game by looping attacks. Lastly, we have the WERERAT form, which has always been associated with the rogue class in D&D, and I guess Pathfinder as well. You have the least amount of damage reduction of all forms, only 1, instead of 3 from wolf or 5 from tiger. But even at the very start of the initial form at level 4, you'll have disarm for free on your bite attack. It's just that I don't think disarm is as useful as trip, but it can still work, because it's free, added on top of your main attacking ability anyways. You do also get sneak attack for free, but at very low progression. The last upgrade at 15 also provides you with Crippling Strike and Opportunist, which are great advanced rogue talents to have. It's just that honestly, I'd much rather WERETIGER for defenses or the werewolf for offenses. And ideally, until level 8, which is when werewolf becomes really good, you just want to go with WERETIGER, because that is when you'll be at your weakest, so having extra defenses helps a lot. But once again, you can also go with WERERAT and disarm enemies. Now let us get into our WERETOUCHED build. For race, as always, I'll be going with human. It's the one I prefer the best, especially for early game on unfair. But it's not necessary because starting from level 11 plus, you can kinda go with whatever feats you want. Something fun for extra tanking is going with halfling, because they start at a smaller size and have the unique Cautious Defender feat for even higher AC early. But I prefer humans. Then Street Urchin and Pickpocket as always for higher initiative. Now for stats, this character can go in two different ways, with a full focus on strength for more damage and attack rolls, or dexterity for higher tanking capabilities. I prefer strength because the reality is strength is way easier to increase in this game than dexterity. You have a lot more buffs for strength, especially with the Demon Mythic path. For example, even by starting with the maximum dexterity and spending all points into dexterity, I still end up with higher strength as a demon. Because like I said, you have more buffs for it. I will say, however, that if you're planning on playing this character from early game on unfair, then dexterity is the way to go because you don't want to get hit, so you have more tanking as to not take double damage on all hits. But this is only for chapter 1 only, because with the WERETIGER form and all of the other different buffs you have, you can tank just fine without going all out into dexterity. Anyways, I'll provide you with both paths, first starting with the strength variant. So start with 20 dexterity if you're going demon, also trickster, then dump intelligence and charisma, they are completely unnecessary, you are just a big dumb werewolf. Followed by 14 dexterity, 14 constitution, 14 wisdom, because shifters do get bonuses to AC based on your wisdom, and by the way, this does not stack with monk AC. You can also start with 19 strength, and go for either 16 dexterity or 16 wisdom. I prefer dexterity because it also increases initiative. For skills, if going strength, athletics, and I also like perception and lore nature, they fit a shifter and you have decent enough wisdom. And well, as always, we want the power attack package, starting with power attack and cleave. The reason is simple. While you do have true claw attacks as early as level 1 as a shifter, as I said, very early in the game you won't have that good defenses for tanking, at least with the strength variant. On the other hand, shifters do have simple weapon proficiency, which means until you can actually become a WERETIGER for more tanking at level 4, you can simply equip long spear weapons because they have reach for extra defenses, and cleave will work with them for 2 attacks despite not having your claws. The AT can be whatever you want so long as it fits your mythic path. As you're going demon, but this also works for trickster, Gorum is a nice enough choice. And this is important, you have to be chaotic neutral for this path, because shifters must be a neutral alignment. For level 3 it's time for the classic cleaving finish, as you really want the extra attack whenever killing an enemy. At level 4 increase strength or dexterity depending on the path you prefer. Then for level 5, as always, outflank, always a must have for any melee build, tanking or not. For level 7 we want lunge as usual for the reach bonus added to our attacks. This is great of course because at the very next level you unlock the upgraded werewolf form, which starts becoming more attractive than WERETIGER, but of course it will reduce your defenses, thus extra reach. For level 9 it's time for improved critical and ideally bites. You do have some extra bonuses as claws for a shifter, but they are still applied to your primary attack. And honestly, for all the WER forms, bite will be your primary attack. No matter what you're using, even if you activate Shifter's Fury on claws, it's still gonna be bite. Which means, bites will be the attack boosted by haste, also the attacks that come from attacks of opportunity. You also have a special mask that increases the amount of bites you can make. And last but not least, remember, both the WERERAT and the WEREWOLF forms have added effects on extra bites, not claws. So overall, it is definitely the best natural weapon to specialize. From level 11 onwards, as a strength variant, you can kinda go with whatever feats you want now, which is why I said you don't need human. But something fun is the shifter exclusive, well I think druids also have it, Energized Wild Shape. This will add 1d6 extra elemental damage to all of your natural attacks. And at this point you'll be at chapter 3, which means you can activate the Bane of Spirit ring to convert it all into irresistible damage, thus bypassing the energy resistance of demons. It's not necessary and you also have other choices like improved initiative, and you can also get into Great Cleave and later pick improved cleaving finish. I'd rather energize Wild Shape because it's something fun and different from the norm. For level 13 it's the same, whatever you want. I'll be going with Improved Initiative because unlike the Dexterity variant, we don't have as high initiative. For level 15 I'll pick something different, Extended Aspect, which increases the amount of times you can activate your Lycanthropic Aspect. It's not necessary and you could potentially pick this early, it's just that at this point you'll definitely have enough of a Wisdom modifier from buffs and gear that you'll get a lot of extra uses of it, for less resting. Now level 16 will be our last WERETOUCHED level as a shifter, because honestly, the other abilities you get past that aren't really that good. Just some increases to claw stuff, and the WERETOUCH capstone is really poor. Especially since you already have Extended Aspect for an extreme amount of Lycanthropic Aspect uses anyways. You can remain pure if you want, but 16 is the last important threshold, because it's when you get the highest bonus to the aspect, and 15 of course is the last upgrade to the Were Animal forms. Besides Tiger, who still gets more AC. But anyways, I'd much rather multiclass now, starting with the Classic Fighter and Mutation Warrior. Unfortunately, we won't be able to get weapon training into natural attacks because it requires 5 levels. For that, you'll have to stop being a shifter, WERETOUCHED, at level 15, which means less Lycanthropic Aspect bonuses at 16. Still 3 levels are great for the mutagen, and you'll still have high base attack bonus progression. You'll also get extra feats as fighter, which honestly can be whatever you want. I'll just be going with weapon focus into bite now, because we can, we have the feats to spare. Followed by combat reflexes, or even something like dodge. Then blind fight or combat reflexes, and blind fight now. Plus the mutagen of course, great for both strength and dexterity, and extra AC. For level 20 you can remain a Mutation Warrior, which lets you get weapon specialization into bites or claws, or you can just go Ranger and Demon Slayer. I think I'd rather weapon specialization because you do have the space for Mythic specialization later through Mythic Progression. Now let's cover Mythic Progression for our WERETOUCHED Shifter. Close to the Abyss is the best regardless of dexterity or strength because it provides you with an extra natural attack, a GORE. For Mythic level 1 you have 2 options. Last Stand is the safest if playing on Unfair, as it will make you virtually unkillable. Otherwise you might as well start with Master Shapeshifter for the huge increase to all physical scores whenever changing into a Were form. The other one can be picked at Mythic level 2. For Mythic level 2, just like I said before, you can grab extra Mythic ability and go for Master Shapeshifter or Last Stand, depending on what you picked before. But that's only for Unfair. Otherwise, you might as well already start with Mythic Power Attack now. For Mythic 3, however, as always ever ready, a must-have together with Outflank. For Mythic 4, you can already grab Mythic Critical, it's just that Bites and Claws, natural attacks, they don't have the best critical range. Unless you're going with Trickster, but it's not like you have that many other options. And as far as your demonic aspect and the demon abilities, please remember that I already have a full demon guide where I cover each in depth, so let's try to keep it short and simple now, but honestly, Calavacus always, because it's what lets you get your looping attacks. It not only increases your AC, which is great when raging, but whenever you succeed at a combat maneuver, which means the free trip or disarm from WERERAT or Wolf forms, you'll get a free attack, which is unlimited of course. This is also applied when you charge at the enemy, which is great because WERETIGER has Pounce. For Mythic 5, it's time to get Mythic Charge, because like I said, the WERETIGER has Pounce. So even if you don't have a SKALD, you can still benefit from this. For the extra demonic aspect, I'd go with Succubus, because it helps both for offenses and defenses, right? It has an aura that reduces the enemy's attack rolls, so great for tanking, and also increases the attack rolls of all allies. Party-wide immunity to compulsion and fear is also great because demons don't really have a way of doing that unlike, let's say, Angel or Lich. For the first major demonic aspect, Balor always for the bonus to Constitution, but Balor makes you share all the normal demonic rage bonuses with all allies, so it's the most efficient of them all. And besides that, you want Vavakia just for the bonus to Strength. For Mythic 6, you might as well go with Mythic Initiative, then Aspect of Incubus for higher damage, or Sheer for better attack rolls and higher damage when charging. For Mythic 7, you can kinda choose anything you want. Always a chance, I mean it can help since you have the talents to spare. followed by Shadow Demon for the bonus to Wisdom, which means more AC of course, as a shifter, and Incubus or Sheer at last. For Mythic level 8, either Mythic Focus or Mythic Specialization, you can get the other one at level 10, and any lesser demonic aspect now. Mythic 9 might as well just be last stand if you're not playing on Unfair, so you didn't pick it before, just to be safe. Followed by Nocticula as your first Demon Lord aspect, because it lets you share all Demon Rage bonuses, not just the default ones that are shared by Balor aspect. This also includes the Demon aspects, with one ally of choice. It's really efficient and quite powerful. And for Mythic 10, either Mythic Weapon Specialization or Weapon Focus, followed by the Pazuzu aspect for the extra attack that stacks even with haste. Now let's just do a quick overview on our dexterity-based shifter for better tanking, especially early. For stats, 14 or 12 strength, 19 dexterity, dump charisma and intelligence as always, and 16 wisdom, followed by 14 constitution. This way you have the best defenses and great offenses. The main dexterity skills, of course. And for level 1 feats, first weapon finesse to add dexterity to attack rolls instead of strength, followed by dodge for higher AC even early. Later we'll get mythic dodge, which increases this bonus. For level 3, you can go for more defenses, which I think is overkill because the WERETIGER form is already amazing at that. Or more offenses, which is what I prefer, so Shifter's Edge. Whenever you have weapon finesse, and we do, and you use strength to deal damage, that's why I recommended 14, you'll also get to add half your shifter level to damage, which is a maximum of +10. This will even stack with a special amulet that already grants you, let's say, mythic weapon finesse, so dexterity to damage for free on natural attacks. At level 4, increase dexterity, the same for all the other levels. For level 5, it's the same, outflank. For level 7, you have two options. If you want more damage and offensive power, go with either Piranha Strike or Power Attack. You have the stats for both. I prefer Power Attack. For more defenses, although I find it a bit overkill, even for Unfair, you can get started into the Crane style line of feats first, with improved Unarmed Strike. I'll be picking this later. For now, it's Power Attack. For level 9, it's time for improved critical into bites. Just don't forget to always activate your Shifter Claws ability, which will empower your bites. From level 11 onwards, you can kinda go with anything you want, which is why I'll actually be focusing to the Crane style feats for once. Even though I said it's not necessary, we do have the feats to spare, so improved Unarmed Strike. Then Crane style at 13, followed by Crane Wing at 15. For level 17+, I still recommend you multiclass into Fighter Mutation Warrior. You'll still end up with higher AC than pure Shifter. Since you have bonus feats, you might as well pick the last Crane style now, Crane Riposte, followed by Improved Initiative. For 18 as a bonus feat, anything you want, might as well pick Weapon Focus into Bites or Combat Reflexes. Then for level 19, Blind Fight as usual, followed by Weapon Specialization into Bites. For the Mythic Progression of our Dexterity WERETIGER variant, well, it's mostly the same, so first Close to the Abyss for the extra gore attack. Then I recommend you pick Last Stand right now, because you want the best defenses with this variant. For the second Mythic rank, extra Mythic ability and Master Shapeshifter. For Mythic 3, it's still all about Ever Ready. For Mythic 4, grab either Mythic Critical or my preferred pick here is Mythic Dodge for even more defenses, because honestly, natural attacks don't have high critical range anyways. The demonic aspects are exactly the same as the strength variant, so I'll just skip them. But yeah, Calabacus is still OP. For Mythic 5, the same, Mythic Charge, because we'll be going with WERETIGER, who has Pounce. Now, for higher defenses, you might as well pick Shadow Demon first, followed by Balor for the Constitution bonus and the Rage Sharing ability. Vavaki can be delayed for later. For Mythic level 6, either Mythic Critical or Mythic Power Attack. Might as well pick Critical now, because you'll have more attacks. Then Sheer or Incubus. Mythic 7 can be whatever you want, I'll just pick Always a Chance. Followed by Vavakir for the Strength bonus. And Incubus. For Mythic 8, either Mythic Initiative or Power Attack, but honestly you already have enough Initiative because of the Dexterity bonus, so I'd rather Power Attack. Followed by Unrelenting Assault, Nocticula, Mythic Weapon Specialization, and Pazuzu. Well, alright, now let us cover gear for our WERETOUCHED Shifter. For the amulet for the strength variant Valexius for the highest bonus to strength possible. Early you can also go with the amulets of Mighty Fists that enhance your natural attacks, it's just that by having a ranger like a Rushalee or a druid in your party, you can simply cast the Greater Magic Fang spell for the same effect, while freeing the amulet slot. For the dexterity variant you absolutely want the amulet of Agile Fists, however. I do think they go up to +3 or +4 in the normal game, as they essentially give you Mythic Weapon Finesse, so dexterity to damage with natural attacks for free. Armor doesn't matter for this character, because you'll always be shifting, and the armor bonuses won't transfer, unlike all the other gear stuff. For robes, for most of the game it doesn't matter, but around chapter 4, or is it 5, you can get the Bestial Rags, which of course provides higher bonuses to your physical scores when shifted, as ratio, which stacks with your normal bonuses, let's say from being a human. And don't forget the Sin Mage robe when casting demon buffs, especially Abyssal Skin, as by increasing your caster level above 20 you'll get even higher, around +9, to your natural armor enhancement, +4 over Bark Skin. I don't have it on because it kinda turns your skin purple, and I wanted to fully showcase the Wereshifter models. For belts, early belts of strength or dexterity, but ultimately at chapter 4, the Lizard's Tail, because it provides a lot of powerful bonuses for shape-shifted characters, with loads of extra AC. For gloves, you can go with Fencer's Gift for higher damage, or Aurelius Gloves for higher AC later in the game. For boots, for the strength variant, I went with the Cat's Boots, because they have nice bonuses with the Owl's Cowl for our helmet. But for the dexterity WERETIGER variant, I'd rather use Ronek's Sacrifice for the highest bonus to dexterity and also AC, by virtue of higher haste bonuses. Rapid Bites is essential, which is another reason I prefer increasing your bites, because well, who doesn't want an extra attack? And this can be found early at chapter 2 I believe, just follow Obrig the Shifter's Companion quests. For cloaks, resistance early, later the Mythic Demon Cloak, because it does allow your demonic aspects to increase even above the cap, which is why I said start with 20 strength, so you can end up at even 72 by having a +7 from aspect of Avakia. The same for wisdom. Sadly we don't have a dexterity granting demon aspect. For rings, as always, Triumphant Advance, a must-have to double morale bonuses, followed by the 7 virtues of a true ruler. I often choose the belt variant, so the belt of the Last of First Humans, but the ring can also be quite useful for a demon character, especially because we already have a belt for shapeshifting. Ideally, you want to activate, let's see, Zeal for Sea Mantle, which is more AC during combat, but most importantly, this ring can double the uses of your demonic rages per day. So at endgame, you're looking at 10. 9 because I already used one, but that's double over 5. And well, the demon rage limitation uses per day is the only annoying part of demon. With this you can overcome that. For braces, lucky bracers, you start the game with them, later braces of armor, or potions of mage armor, ultimately the bracers of slaughter as usual, for the highest bonus to armor AC and, of course, damage. Now let's cover weapons and quick slots. You don't need any weapons for once, because you'll just be shifting, but long spears can help you early, until level 4. And for quick slots, Jarsigax, the Dragon Familiar for higher damage, the Signet for higher skills, Lucky Dice, Extend Metamagic Rods for demon buffs, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you can always get a pet from the Bismuth Dinosaur Companion as well. Well, alright friends, so this was it for our WERETOUCHED Shifter guide. I know it was a bit long, but I wanted to showcase both of the build variants. And well, if you found this guide useful as always, please remember to like, subscribe, and also consider becoming a channel member if you can. I highly appreciate your support. Thank you for watching, and see you next time, friends.